Hello everyone, welcome back to Chaos Head. I won't be making a too long of a video today. I cannot talk apparently. When Bon visited it again, for the first time in a week, the Frisia office looked somewhat different than before. The mountain of documents piled up on each employee's desk had now completely vanished. It must be that they went tumbling down in the earthquake, followed by Momose giving out orders to clean everything up. Thanks to that, the office left a clean, refreshed impression on him. Regarding it from the corner of his eyes as he sighed, Ben settled down in the wheeled chair he'd pulled over. He fanned his face busily with his beloved fan. Momose, who had been typing away at her notebook PC, cast a glance at his gloomy countenance and knit her eyebrows together.
なに？来るなりため息なんてついて。
なあ、ももちゃん。何にもないとこから剣が出てくるって手品見たことあるかい？
そう。手品なんて詳しくないから。
じゃあ瞬間移動は？
瞬間移動だ、悟空。
箱の中に入ってとかそういうこと？
いや、そうじゃなくて。
一体何が言いたいわけ？宴会芸でも覚えたいの？
わかんないんだね。多分関係ないことだからさ。
変な人ね。
Momose shrugged and took one of the bean paste buns that Bun had brought as refreshments, popping it into her mouth. Sua brought over 2 paper cups. The green tea he'd poured in them was steaming.
あら悪いわね、スワちゃん。お茶組なんてさせちゃって。今日みおちゃん風邪で休んでて。
You know, Sua, I don't trust you for a fucking moment. I know you're one of the guys who has a sword. It can be that. I mean, you have to be one of those. Or even Shogun. You sick, twisted fuck. You...
Yeah, 大丈夫っす。
Smiling breezily, he handed Momose and Bun their paper cups. Bun had taken Sua here in the past when they were working on a different case. Ever since, he had begun looking more to Momose as his mentor than to Ban, his direct superior. Momose had also taken a liking to the young and honest Sua. She didn't dispatch him the way she did Ban.
それより何の話してたんすか？
どうやったら不敬に受ける宴会芸を覚えられるかって相談をな。
ああ、そりゃ興味深いっす。
スワちゃん、こんなダメ刑事なんかといつまでもつるんでちゃダメよ。もっと優秀な上司に就くのをおすすめするわ。でないとあなたの出世街道が断たれちゃう。
まるで俺が出世絶望的みてえな言い方だな。
事実でしょ。悔しかったらもっと真面目に仕事しなさい。
してるんだがな。
Ignoring Bun, who scrunched his face up as if he just couldn't accept it, Momose held the box of bean pastries out to Sua.
スワちゃんも食べて。
あ、どうもっす。
言っとくが、それは俺が自腹で買ってきたもんだぞ。
先輩、いただきます。
Senpai? No. Fuck you. You don't use senpai. It's sen. Like nasty, not masty. Nasty. Senpai. Watching his junior bow his head neatly and reach a hand toward the bean pastries, Bun sighed yet again.
それより二人ともこれを見て。
A line graph was displayed on her laptop's monitor. Raising and falling like waves, it drew gentle curves. Suha, who had circled behind Bun, tilted his head as he peered at it.
これ、何のグラフっすか？
ここ1年の渋谷近辺の G レートよ。おかしいと思わない？
渋谷の平均 G レートが世界的に見ても高いってのはももちゃんに教えてもらったんだぜ。
そうじゃなくて気のせいかもしれないけど G レートが何者かによって操作されてるような気がするの。
そんなことできるんすか？
さあ でもグラフを見るとなんだか不自然なのよね。数値が小刻みに変動しすぎてる。10年ぐらい前まで遡って調べてみたんだけど、ここ5年くらいはずっとそんな調子なのよ。
前に太田教授だっけか、その人が言ってた、なんだっけ、 G レートが半年前から増加してるとかなんとか、その辺と関係あるのかい？
太田教授の調査では G レートはそんなに細かい変動は起こさないっていうことなのよ。
何らかの異常が起こってて、そこに人為的なものを感じるってことか。
でも5年っすよ。それだけ続いてれば異常じゃなくて正常な状態と言えなくもないんじゃないですか？
もう一つあるの。グラフを細かく調べていくと G レートは毎週末に伸びる傾向にあるのよ。
週休2日のサラリーマンにはありがたいことだな。俺には関係ねえけど。
ああ、土日に休み欲しいっすね。自分もう2ヶ月休みなしっすよ。
Momose shook her head in a little response to the disappointed-looking detectives, both of whom had hung their heads.
茶化してる場合じゃないわ。1週間ごとに定期的に変動してるのよ。しかも年末年始やお盆休みなんかは変動がピタリと止まる。何かの意志が働いているとしか思えないわ。
年末年始やお盆休みがあるのって人間だけだよな。動物や植物はそんなもんあるわけねえもんな。
実は地球の意志とか。
地球の意志？ずいぶん壮大な話だな。だがもし仮にそんなもんがあったとして、地球が明けましておめでとうとか言うかや。
冗談っすよ。
年末年始はともかくお盆休みは日本にしかない風習よね。
日本人の社会活動と同期しすぎてか。
渋谷っすから当然なんじゃ。
ちなみにこことここ見て、
said Momose, pointing first to the very center of the line graph, and then to the most recent date on the far right-hand side.
この2箇所はすごく伸びているでしょ。
一番右はこの1年の最高記録みたいな。
1年どころかこの10年で最高よ。
日付は？
真ん中は3ヶ月前。覚えてる？小さな地震があったでしょ。
ああ、震度3でなぜか8人も死んだ。あれか。あの犠牲者ってなんで死んだのか理由はまだ特定できてないんじゃなかったか。
そうでしたっけ？
Ignoring the two detectives' exchange, Momose continued her explanation.
で、一番右はこの間の地震の日。あの日、大規模な電磁波が発生したのは知ってるわよね。
渋谷中のコンピューターが壊れたらしいな。あれはアナログ人間だからよくわからんが。
自分も自宅のノーパソがやられたっす。普及してる暇がなくて。
あれは地震の影響で電磁波が起きたって言われてるけど、真相は全く逆かもしれない。電磁波の影響で地震が起きた。
おいおい、そんなことテレビや新聞じゃ言ってなかったぞ。
あくまで私の推測だけど、この2つの地震は天災じゃなくて人災かもって思ってるの。だってどっちも普通じゃないもの。前の地震では震度3っていう規模なのに8人も亡くなってるし、そして今回は震度5で118人。
死にすぎって言いたいのか。
さっきバンちゃん言ったでしょ。亡くなった方の大半は 死因が不明って。そんなの尋常じゃないわ。
まあ確かに。
それに空が白く染まったっていう噂もある。
そういえば時間が経つにつれて全く報道されなくなったな。
マスコミに何らかの圧力があったのかもね。
まさか。
明和党か。
おそらくそうよ。
マジっすか？
明和党とつながりのある企業団体を洗うべきか。
もうやったわよ。
さすがももちゃん、相変わらず仕事早いね。で、
Momose raised both hands in a huge stretch. She tilted her head a little, making the bones in her neck crack pleasantly.
それらしい当たりはなし。お手上げよ。
お手上げって、ももちゃん。
やっぱももちゃんさんの推測が間違いなんじゃ。
そうかもしれないわね。これでも結構時間かけて調べたのよ。本業そっちのけでね。でも行き詰まっちゃったわ。よほど巧妙に隠されているか。スワちゃんの言う通り、私の推測が見当外れでしかないのか。
こういう時は別の方向から攻めてみるってのがデカの鉄則だぜ。
先輩、なんか心当たりあるんすか？
Stopping his fan-waving hand, Bun licked his lips.
週末に G レートが上がって得するやつって誰なんだろうな。
Since then, I've stopped hearing hallucinations, but I couldn't stand staying in the classroom any longer, and I spent nearly half the day cooped up in the bathroom, waiting for classes to end. The reasons I didn't return to my base right away was because I was still attached to the idea of maybe being able to meet Remy. So after classes ended and everyone had gone home, I snuck back into the empty classroom. Remy would be waiting there alone. She'd smile when she saw me and...
石どこ行ってたの？待ってたのよ。一緒に帰ろっか、タク。
I thought maybe she'd say that to me. I hoped, just a little, for such a development to take place. But no one was in the classroom. Of course no one was waiting for me. I tried going to the courtyard. This was where Remy had told me, "I'll be there for you." But now no one was here. Only the purple flowers blooming in the flower bed swayed forlornly, blown by the autumn wind. I took the vermilion handkerchief out of my bag. I had received it from Remy back then. I experimentally sniffed it, but because I'd washed it, the floral scent had vanished. I had the handkerchief, but not its scent. I had memories of her, but Remy wasn't here. There I was, wanting to see the girl I'd made up in my head.
なんて。
Haunting the school building after classes.
なんて救いようがないんだ。僕って。
Pressing a feminine handkerchief to my lips. It was so damn creepy, I thought I'd rich. I left school and stumbled around aimlessly. Nothing seemed to matter anymore. My anxiety about the possibility of being attacked by Shogun and Dio had drifted off somewhere as well. On the contrary, I hoped they'd be kind enough to kill me painlessly. My mind had gone into utter depression mode. As I regarded the central district of Shibuya from this perspective in mind, its atmosphere was brutal enough to accelerate my gloom. No one walking around alone, The road was smiling. They glared harshly at their surroundings. Something in the air made it seem as if it wouldn't be strange if the people passing me started fighting with me in any moment. Simply walking along like this, I spotted a number of stores with closed shutters. There they would normally have been boisterous with customers. And I had a vague sense that the number of cars on the road had decreased as well. The jumbotron that always noisily blared out sound was now silent. In exchange came incessant, far-off police sirens, cars honking their horns and squealing. There were no signs of how I'd caused such a riot at the plaza a week ago. Though it hadn't yet vanished from people's memories, perhaps I was already gone from the city's memory, chased beyond the far side of forgetfulness. It would have been nice if I could forget every one of my memories as well. Knowing nothing, being ignorant, remaining a fool. People like that must surely live rose-colored lives and relish every single day.
無知は罪だ。知らない方が幸せなこともあるという人間もいるが、そんなのはただの甘えだ。
I had a feeling that Senna had told me so. What's wrong with being naive? People aren't. I'm not all that strong. We're always seeking someone else's salvation. I couldn't do anything on my own. Nor did I want to. I stood in the center of the street and closed my eyes. Knowing only part of the truth, as I did now, was the most burdensome of all possible situations. Shogun and these sorts, for instance, I hadn't want to know about them, but I'd found out. That said, if someone asked me, so what are they really, I wouldn't be able to come up with an answer. I didn't know the answer. Shall I try to die? I thought as I looked at the roof of the front. If I died, perhaps my memories would reset and I would be possible to replay everything. Say, person behind me, what do you think? Your role-playing utterly failed this time around. You were wrong in how you cultivated your character. You should have gone with a cooler, more heroic character. You had to be someone sociable and kind to girls, one who would challenge the strong and aid the weak, one with a fiery sense of justice. You can't defeat the last boss without me. You can't use me to clear your game. Don't expect anything of me. Reset me. I'm begging you. Take this worthlessness self of mine and erase it. No one erased me. Instead came the impact of someone banging into my shoulder.
Oi! 邪魔なんだよ.
Wow, can you be more unfriendly? I thought I was hallucinating. I'd heard the female version in the morning, so this time it must be the male version. Not that I'd asked for one. I'd rather have a more moe-voiced hallucination, one I could fap to. But if they whispered sexy lines by my ear, I'd have a boner right in the middle of town.
無視してんじゃねえぞ。
なあてめえ、西条だな。
どうなんだ、やらせ超能力少年。
この前テレビ出てたよな。ギャラいっぱいもらったんだろ。
ちょっと顔貸せよ、エスパー君。
I opened my eyes. 3 guys stood there surrounding me. They wore baggy clothes and had a yellow, silver, and red hair. 2 had piercing in their right ears on their nose. One had a piercing in just his ear. One was the type of kangaroo who's so rare nowadays. They are practically a protected species. Kangaroo. Seriously, a kangaroo, man? Here's my death flag, I thought. Was this another unhappiness trap? Really, they came one after another. I'm telling you, I don't care anymore. Hurry up and kill me, because then I'll get to reset and become reborn. Do you have a knife or 2 ready with you? Stab me properly, so I die right away. My knees began to shake from fear. I yelled on instinct. It was close to a scream, but I couldn't pay attention to appearances. Wow, you're such a fucking faggot, dude. Be a man for once. I don't have anything against faggots, sorry. I don't want to blah 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 blah. I was lying about not caring, blah blah. Even in such desperate circumstances, I don't want to die. Exactly. Thank you. They covered my mouth so I couldn't say anything. They grabbed my arms on either side. Very good. That was when I stopped resisting. God's judgment. Kami no Sawagi. Not Sawagi, Sabaki. They dragged me to an uninhabited alleyway. I launched a preemptive strike against the leering trio. Trio. Alleyway. I can't speak English.
許して。
Dude. Apologizing in a quivering voice, I prostrated myself.
お金なら全部渡すから。それで見逃してください。
I held my wallet out to them. The delinquent snatched it.
お前金持ちだな。さすが超能力少年だぜ。お前いいやつじゃん。俺気に入っちゃったよ。
Prostrated, I let out a breath of relief. Apparently they were going to let me escape.
俺らの仲間に入れてやるよ。入会金は100万円な。これ強制。本当はすぐ払ってもらうとこだけどよ。今日の夜までにしてやるよ。
Wow.
まあ、なんか超能力使って見せてくれたら半額にしてやってもいいけどな。
なんか言えよ。
超能力見せろっつってんだよ。できねえの？
できねえのかっつってんだよ。
Pain ran through my side. I thought I might have broken a rib. I couldn't breathe. I began to feel faint. I had vertigo. The foot of the thug in front of me had entered my field of sight. The tip of his shoe came flying toward my face with incredible force. I wondered what happened. I thought I'd felt pain enough in my face to make me pass out, but it might have been my imagination. I figured I'd open my eyes, but my eyelids wouldn't move. The darkness wouldn't disappear for me.
だよ、もう伸びたのか？
どうする？このくらいにしとく？もうちょっと痛みつけといた方がいいんじゃね？あのダーススパイダーの兄ちゃんもそう言ってたじゃん。
ボコボコにしてくれって言ってた。
こいつボコるだけで金くれるなんて、よっぽどこいつのこと嫌いなのかもな。
The fuck? Fucking Darth Spider.
というわけなんで、続きまーす。
俺らのこと恨まないでね。
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
おい、何土地狂ってんだよ。ふざけんなよ。なんだそれ。おい、よせ。やめろ。やめて。やだ。
Oh, shit. You still scare the fuck out of me, and it's just that fucking wheelchair and that beanie. It's that beanie, dude. The faint light of dusk filtered through the hospital window. The twilight-colored light sharply divided the middle of the room into that which was bright and that which was dark. What it made visible was snow-white sheets covering a bed, a handheld game system laid beside the pillow. A number of scholarly books lined up along the shelves, the pale purple petals of the cosmos flowers arranged in a vase. It was an orderly room. Nothing moved, a space where time seemed to have stopped. A window that cut a piece out of the dusk sky. A small figure sat in a wheelchair by the windowsill. His back facing the window, he remained motionless. His breaths were so gentle and came so far apart as to make one think that he might be dead. His skin was covered in wrinkles, his cheeks were gaunt, his eyes were sunken, not a single hair grew on his head. An appearance that evoked uncertainty about whether to call him a boy or an old man. The shadow of he who called himself Shogun elongated all the way to the door. There, for the first time, the world moved. The door gradually opened and someone came in from the dark hallway toward the sunlight. Saki Hataremi stood still at the threshold without entering the hospital room. The sunset illuminated her tormented expression.
もうやめよう。残念だけど、あの彼は、西条匠は消すべきだよ。
Shogun didn't bunch an inch at her words.
どうして？
危険だから。
Grief infused Rimi's voice as she answered. Her eyes too appeared faintly damp.
私が消そうか。
ダメだよ。
Ultimately, even Rimi couldn't discern whether he moved his mouth or when he spoke.
彼にはやってもらわなくちゃいけないことがあるんだ。
Rimi's hair fell forward as she hung her head, and she quietly pushed it back with her fingers.
例えば、あなたは夢に見たことを覚えていられる？
うん。
そっか。私、すぐ忘れちゃうんだ。
できる人とできない人がいる。
できる人はきっとロマンチストなんだね。
すごく長い夢をよく見るよ。見ている間は何年にも感じられる。
私もそうだった気がする。でもそれは幻。実際の時間としては寝ているうちのほんの 2,3 秒程度のものなんだって。夢って心の歌方なの。だから早く目覚めて出ないと。いつかあなたは西条匠に殺されちゃう。
それでも構わないよ。夢から覚めるわけにはいかない。この夢は完結させなくちゃ。
完結した夢の後には何が残るの
？Someone shook my shoulder lightly. It was very constrained, and moreover, their hand left my shoulder after shaking me only once. Ah. I sensed someone peering into my face. My consciousness was awakening little by little. The ache in my body revived together with it. The scent was piercing my nose, vivid and nausea-inducing. It was the smell of blood. My upper lip stung. The inside of my mouth tasted like I'd licked a piece of iron. I slowly opened my eyes. "Hello, Blondie," called it. I was in the same alley as before. I lay face down on the asphalt, and right before my eyes was a tiny brownish puddle, akin to something you might see leaking out of raw garbage. Grimacing at the stench, I roused myself. I hurt all over. My face was in particular pain. It burned and stung as though someone were bringing a lighter closer and closer to me. familiar girl knelt close beside me and watched me with a teary-seeming face. The transfer student, the girl who joined my class. What was her name? Oshihara? I wonder why she was here. The transfer student held something out to me. My wallet. Why did she have it? Because she also has a D sword and she fucking kicked those bitch asses' asses. Still dazed, I looked around. The three of delinquents who had quarreled with me earlier had been lying there, covered in blood. What was this? Someone had totally worked them over. Their faces bore no resemblance of how they'd been originally shaped. Were they dead? They didn't stir. It couldn't be. The 7 New Gen incident? Who would do such a thing? Was it me? Had I? The transfer student stood up and, still pale, beckoned me with her hand. Tears in the corners of her eyes, she looked back and forth between me and my confusion and the fallen trio. And she abruptly seized my hand and tottered off onto a run. 裏通りに出たところで転校生は手を離した。そう大した距離を走ってないのに、彼女はもう息切れしている。When we came out of the alleyway, the transfer student let go of my hand. Even though we didn't run that great of a distance, she was all out of breath. Both of us had fallen silent. And with that, I will fall silent as well. And I'll see you guys in the next time I record this video game, or rather this visual novel. Thank you for watching as always, and have a great day.